Scrub-a-dub-dub, what's in the tub? What's going on, my subscribers? Ace here, and today we are starting a brand new series. So if you guys are excited for that, make sure to hit that like button to show your support. And this is going to be Pokemon Tips with Ace, and this series is for newer battlers or people who are looking to improve their skills. And if that qualifies you, then stick around and we'll have a good time. So basically today, what I'm going to be starting with on the first episode of this series is resources that you guys can use to improve your battling, because these small things in battling are what make the big differences. Now, these resources, I have 4 sites for you guys to look at, and I'll explain to you why I think they're important and how I think that you can use them to be most effective. Now, this is Pokemon Showdown that you're looking at right now. And you can see the beautiful Nico Robin as my background. You can change and customize it to your own thing, make it homey for you. But the most important thing I think about this is, well, not even the most important, but something that's important about it is that you can click at any time, look for a battle, and somebody can pop up at any time. So if it's 3 AM and you just wake up and feel like Pokemon battling, you can click look for a battle in whatever tier you want. If you're not familiar with the tiers, the most common tiers, it starts with Ubers at the highest, OU, UU, RU, NU, PU over here, and then Little Cup. And there's a whole bunch of different things that you could do over here. There's VGC, doubles, and stuff like that, if that's your cup of tea. And you can even do random battles if that's what you want to do. But at any time during the day, you can click that, and you can find opponents, and you can learn the meta game. Now, that word is something that somebody who's newer to Pokemon battling may not be familiar with, so I'll explain it. The meta game is what is common in the tier that you are playing. So if you're playing OU, mods that you will commonly see and sets that are commonly run are the meta game. And you have to build your teams around how to counter those, and so that you can best fight against them. Well, that's a bad way to explain it. So you build your teams against them so that you can win. Basically, like, you're countering what people are bringing, and the best way to learn that is through experience on here. And another underrated way is to join in the chat, and in any one of these, I think it's like 50 some rooms, you can talk to people at any time. There are people awake in these rooms in different languages. Espanol, I know there's the Dutch room down there, Chinese room, and you can talk to these people at any time, learn strats, participate in tournaments and things like that. And it's absolutely fantastic because you don't have to worry about, tweeting out on Twitter or anything like that and asking for a battle or seeing if somebody wants to battle, because there's always people on here. There's 13,379 people on here in active battles already, and there's 7,677 people on here looking for, like, just chilling, like thinking about Pokemon and stuff like that. And another great aspect of this is the team builder, and within the team builder you can see Pokemon that are within their tiers, and that way if somebody's tweeting out and you want to battle them, you already know what Pokemon are in the tiers. You can grab up your team, and you can also just build teams, test teams on here, and you can look and see what Pokemon are in each tier and what you really need to identify as a threat. Now, moving on from Showdown, we will move on. Just go back to home. And the next site that I think is really important is Pokemon Damage Calculator. Now, if you just type in PokemonShowdown.com and then put /damage calc, this will pop up. Or you can just type in Pokemon Calculator, and this should be the first one that pops up. Now, with Pokemon Damage Calculator, it's just absolutely great to have this, because you can type in anytime during a battle. It takes about 15 seconds per thing, less if you're a fast typer, because I'm a really slow typer. But you can just type in quickly, and you can see exactly how much your move is going to do, and you can make the most informed decision during the battle. You can implement things like status, life orb, abilities, natures, and you can kind of scout out what set your opponent is running, and that's really, really important. And you can import teams even, and that's pretty cool on like a thing, just being able to know what your team hits, what your team doesn't, what's really effective on certain mons, especially if you're having like problems, like say you're having a problem with Skarmory. You can know what Pokemon on your team can counter that and how best to go against that. And now moving on from this, I think that something that's really underrated that people don't do is learning their typings. Not so much, like I know people know, fire beats grass, and grass is super effective on water and things like that. Basic typings I'm not really worried about, and super effective, and even immunities I think people know pretty well, but if you don't, you might want to take a look at those as well. But I think resistances is something that people need to learn. I don't know my resistances like perfectly to a T, and that's something that I'm working to improve, but I think that's something that makes a big difference. So like most people wouldn't know that water resists steel. Now logically it kind of makes sense, but it's not something that like just commonly think of like fire and water. So like from that, it's really, really important, because like if you're in a battle and you see your opponent saving, say, a Milotic, and you have a Metagross that's looking like it's going to end up being your last mon, you might want to like strategize not having that end up being a 1v1 against the Milotic. You might want to make sure that you get chip damage on that Milotic, or save another mon that's going to do more damage against the Milotic, because you know that Metagross main stab and most powerful move is resisted by the water typing, and that's something that it's a small difference, but it can make a huge difference in your play, and it can win you more battles than you would commonly win when you're not using that. And I think that's just like the small things. It's just like people always say that like dot your I's and T's and stuff like that, or dot your I's and cross your T's, whatever the old saying is, I don't remember, but it's something that's just like a small tweak that people don't do that can really make the difference. And if you watch people's battles, like they might do it and they're like, oh wait, that didn't do so much, oh wait, it's resisted, I didn't know that, and like that can cost you the entire battle, just not hitting that move and losing your mon because you thought it would kill. And now the last site that I think is really important in learning is Smogon. Now people don't like Smogon because these are the common sets that are run. Now, what I've been talking about the entire time is learning what people commonly run, and that's why I think Smogon is a great site, because you can see what people commonly run, and it usually has what tier these Pokemon are usually run in and stuff like that. But if you see a mon in OU from NU and you have no idea what it does, you can just type in Smogon and see the common sets that's run on it, and you can understand what your opponent's trying to do. You can see what kind of movesets they're trying to run on it, and you can just learn about your opponent so much from that. Excuse me if you guys heard that. And it's really important, just information gathering, using all the resources that you have at your disposal to kind of counter your opponent. And I think it's really, really important to use these all, because if your opponent has access to them and they use them and you don't, they have a huge advantage over you. So why not use them? Why not bring your level of battling to that next level? Now the next thing we'll do is I'll go into team building, and I'll kind of show you guys how I look at tiers when I'm going to build teams. So if I'm looking at the OU tier, I look down, and based on my knowledge from playing the OU tier, I know that Mega Charizard, Azumarill, Manaphy, Mega Altaria, Chansey, Blissey are very common to see, even Dragonite down here as well. Those are very common mons to see. So knowing that those mons are common to see, I'm going to bring mons that counter those directly, and things that I can switch in on their attacks and not have to worry about seeing those take out my entire team in a 6-0 sweep, because that's always embarrassing, and you want to win. Everybody wants to win. You don't play people play just to have fun, but at the end of the day, you want to win. Everybody likes to win. So when you're looking through these tiers, you have to identify what are common threats people are going to run. And especially in the OU tier, there are a lot of really good mons that you have to understand what they do, and immediately. So if you see a Talonflame in front of you and it sets up a Sword Dance, you have to have something you have to have something to counter that, and you have to have something to be able to switch into that, because in the metagame right now it is very switch heavy. You are going to switch mons in and out, in and out, in and out to counter each other, and you have to know what your opponent could do and might do, and what is the best option based on percentages from the calculator, and based on resistances and common sets from Smogon. See how those all kind of implement together. And knowing that, like I look at these tiers and I see the mons that I'm more commonly seeing: Landers, Therian, very very common; Mega Lopunny, very very common. And just countering these mons is something that you have to do, and even bringing them, like if you're seeing that a lot of people are bringing them, something that counters its own self is normally itself. So like if you see that Latios is becoming common, you run a Latios and you scarf yours because everybody else is running Life Orb, and you drop a Draco on them, they're dead. And that's just like, that's a huge advantage to that. Now I'm not going to go into like team building like a team right now for a tier because I think that I can do that next time. So what I'm going to move on to is understanding the difference between Showdown and Wi-Fi. Now Showdown and Wi-Fi are two different like hemispheres. Like people commonly associate them together, think that once they play Showdown and they get really good on Showdown, they can come on Wi-Fi and do really well. And you might do pretty well, but I think that on Wi-Fi it's a whole different ballpark, because people on Showdown are going to run funky sets because they're testing stuff and things like that. And you have to understand that once you get into the higher like rankings and stuff like that, you're going to find better people and people running more legit sets and things like that. But especially when you like start in the lower tiers, you're not going to see that. So you have to kind of understand like what you're getting, and if you start winning a lot of battles in the lower rankings, that it may not reflect, you know, that your team is doing really well. It's just that people aren't playing as well as they could. And like something that you should see is like if we go into a battle right here. Oh, what is this? Why are you here? See, like, wow, this guy's gonna get destroyed. But like, if I click Swords Dance here, or I should probably just Brave Bird. No, I didn't just Sword Dance. But I can just click cancel and see, like, I actually did it. Oh, and it okay. Thanks, Showdown, for showing how poop you are. But but that I can just click that cancel button. I clicked the cancel button because I thought I made a mistake. And on Wi-Fi, people take it more serious because they know they can't do that. And we'll click out of this. We'll just give this guy the win. You're welcome, Captain Key, if you're watching this, because I normally don't click out of battles, but for this I think it's important just to get out of there. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, but that you can click that cancel button is really, really like, it's huge, because people can just randomly click buttons, and people don't take it as seriously on Showdown because it's not Wi-Fi, it's not the like official format and things like that, and it's a big difference. On Wi-Fi, people are going to take it a little more seriously, especially since they have to make the mons, they have to either gen them, breed them, or whatever other method you can do, homebrew I think it is. If people do that, it takes time and things like that. People take it a lot more serious, and I think that's really important for you guys to understand. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it for the end of today. I think that's a good video. You guys make sure to comment down below if you guys want to see anything else. The next episode is gonna be I'm gonna be showing you guys like building a team in a tier, and I'm gonna show you a little more advanced strats that you can implement in your battling. And then tier by tier, I'm going to probably do in future episodes after that. I can do tier by tier analysis and things like that, so that you guys can understand each tier and stuff like that. So if there's anything else that you guys want to see, make sure to comment that down below, and I can share my insight on anything Pokemon wise that you guys want to understand, or even if it's just like, you know, understanding your opponent, I can do videos on that as well. Yeah, but that's gonna be it for today. Make sure to hit the like button like I said, and subscribe for future content, and thank you guys so much for watching. Ace out. Bye bye.